It's time to take it back now. No more hiding, no more silence. This power is mine. I've cried through the dark. Now I'm walking in light. This is her psychology, and baby, I'm right on time. Standing on my own, taking back my throne, where I fought to be. It's her psychology. I speak, I rise, I heal unapologetically. This love, this life, this.
Hi, and thank you for joining us for episode 4 of the Her Psychology podcast. And the name of this episode is going to be If Men Are Really the Problem, Why Don't Y'all Just Leave Us Alone? I do have a special guest with me today. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody where they can find you.
Hello, my name is actually Chantel, but I go by Savvy on TikTok. Savvy as I am.
Okay, so we're going to get right into it, but I want to do an open monologue to this, and I want to talk about your breakdown of the viral series on male entitlement. And this question was originally asked by a New York based real estate investor by the name of Sarky Amkin. If men are really the problem, why don't y'all just leave us alone? Let me first start by saying that is absolute reverse psychology. We all within our right minds know that there are no women that are going around doing these things to men. And Savvy has also placed the challenge out that if a man, any man or a woman, can tag her with at least 5 videos showing that women do it too, so that we don't have to both sides this situation, she'll stop the series. Savvy?
Yes, I will. I will stop the series right where it is.
Okay.
I 100% will.
So if you think that you're up for that challenge, I would like you to reach out to Savvy at her TikTok page, Savvy, and tag her in the videos. There has to be at least 5 videos that clearly show women doing the same thing that men are actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to jump right in here to our questions. And the first question that I have is, what do you think your series actually reveals about male behavior?
The truth. It reveals the truth. Because we all know that they're going to make excuses for their actions. It's going to always be a reason or a justification for why they do something. But the simple facts are this. In most cases, women aren't bothering men. We're just trying to live our everyday lives. And it just seems like it's hard to do that because I think that men see us as just simply beings, and because of that, they don't respect our space. They don't respect our no. So the idea of putting this on camera where everybody can see it, it just seemed like perfect for me. It did. I was like, oh my God, this would be so good. And I just went and because the first 4 blew up, because if you look at them, my first 4, I have 3 videos in one.
I did notice that.
Mm-hmm. And then when I saw that it was gaining so much traction, I was like, oh, I need to break this down. And that's exactly what I did.
I think for me, what it revealed is that in males' interaction is that they are the ones who initiate interactions with us the majority of the time, and that's even when we're not even showing any signs or any interest.
Definitely.
They lack the ability to be able to just read the room. And I'll give you a prime example. I have a new employer right now in which I just started. And I'm in a training, what was until today, it ended today. And there is a guy in the training that is highly inappropriate. So I've had 2 things happen. The first thing that happened was a guy placed his phone number on my desk with his name and just left it there. I am a manager, and so I know that I cannot have a type of serious relationship, any type of relationship with him outside of work related, because I'm going to be supervising him and he would be my subordinate.
Yeah.
And so I didn't respond to the name or number at all. But there's an older gentleman that's a little older than him. and he is obnoxious to say the least. And he's very playful and he's very inappropriate. And I told the girl in class because he said something to me every day. And today I was sitting in my car making a phone call, and he actually stood outside my window and he waited for me to finish my call. And I was still talking. So because I wasn't getting off the phone quick enough, he knocked on my window and he said, "They're serving pizza." And I kind of just looked at him and said, "Okay, I'll be back in there." But that is the type of stuff that he's been doing the entire class. He's been making very inappropriate remarks. Like I was at the coffee machine and I was like, he asked me how I was doing. I said, "I'm doing fine." He said, "Yes, you are." But I probably shouldn't say that because that's inappropriate. I didn't even say anything. Like when I tell you that this is brand new, like 7 days into this training class, brand new, like I don't even know him and did not know him before this class. And that's just how inappropriate a lot of them will be. But they will act like that's normal behavior.
Well,
And
for
for
them,
them it is.
I will say for them, it is normal behavior. And I think it's the conquer mentality. They need to conquer. Like the women who are out there literally running around going, hey, pick me, choose me. They don't want them. They want the women that they feel like they're not supposed to have. They have this conquer mentality, like if I can conquer, I won.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. He knows that you can't date him. He understands that you are his superior at that job. But if I could get her,
Mm-hmm.
if I could conquer her, then I am the man. You know what I'm saying? That's how they think. And I think it's sad. And it puts us in harm's way.
It does. It does put
Mhm.
us in harm's way.
Yeah.
Why do you think that men feel so comfortable approaching women without imitation at all?
Because I don't believe that they see us as human. They see us as something to be conquered. They don't see us as human. Hence the reason why most of them call us females when they're describing us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are women. Females can be dogs, cats, trees, plugs, right? Shoot, we are women. But the simple fact that they cannot acknowledge that we are human beings is sad. It's diabolical, first of all.
Absolutely.
But it gives them a place to think that it's okay to treat us as such because we are just a notch on the belt, on the backboard and the headboard. That's all it's about. Is how I can conquer it. That's it. I just watched a video not too long. I think it was maybe yesterday, matter of fact, and this guy was describing um him approaching women because he needs to get to 300 women that he has hunched on before his next birthday. Because that's what somebody told him another man told him he needed to do in order to be a man. So he is taking women down one by one because some man gave him a challenge and told him that this is what a man makes. They don't see us as human beings. They see us as something to conquer.
That is extremely predatory.
Yeah.
I posted something on my Facebook page yesterday that I came across, and there was this guy, and he was given a play-by-play course on how to move yourself into a woman's house without her knowing that that is what you're doing.
I saw that.
And I said, this is what you call subtle predatory behavior. I don't think people really understand what stalking actually is. And you have to be a certain type of person to plot and plan in that manner and then turn around and go online and give out the course play by play to
It's
make a whole bunch
disgusting.
of other predators. They wouldn't even look at that as predatory behavior. They would just look at it as they're playing a mind game. But it's absolutely predatory and manipulative behavior.
Yeah. And it's done. You also have to look at it even deeper. Because if you are lying, gaslighting, manipulating, if you're doing all the things to get me to give you something, you are getting this from me without consent.
Absolutely.
It is without consent.
Absolutely.
Because you have lied to me. You have tricked me. You have manipulated me. So I'm not giving my consent to that. So you are definitely 100%, you are a predator, sir. 100%. But they will never see it like that because, again, we as women are not seen as human to them.
No, and they have also been socialized and conditioned to believe that they are supposed to have access to women. And when they access us in public, then it is our duty, and we're naturally supposed to just be docile and polite.
And how dare you not be happy that I'm trying to talk to you? You should be privileged. You should feel privileged that I am giving you my attention. This is another reason why they don't believe that women can be happy without them, because they have been socialized to believe that they are the prize. Because they cannot be happy alone, they assume we can't be happy alone. But the truth of the matter is, and all of us understand it, is that we thrive alone.
I
We
tell
thrive.
I tell a lot of women in some of the friend groups that I speak in, you actually have to think like men think to be able to see how what they do is very logical to them, although it is actually literal
Illogical.
versus, logic. The way they think, they automatically assume we think that way.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're saying things to us, they truly believe what they are saying because they think that we behave like them.
Yeah.
And so when we don't behave like them or when we say something different, that is the reason why they say men are from Mars and women are from Venus, because they think
Mm-hmm.
we're speaking two different languages. Because if it's not their way, then it isn't.
Yeah, they're projecting. They're projecting their beliefs onto us. They cannot fathom that we could be thinking something different, right? They
Mm-hmm.
can tell us who we are all day long because another man told them that this is who we are. So if another man told them that this is how women are, this is how women behave, they will believe it. But we can say, no, sir, I'm a woman, and I'm saying, no, that's not how we are. There you go. That's a lie. He told me you were like that. They can, or they can't see, like my grandma used to always say, you can't see past your own nose. Right? She said all the time. And as a kid, I had no idea what that means. Now, as an adult, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these men cannot see past their own nose. And there are, in all of my videos, I think I'm up to like 51 now. I post them every morning. In every last one of those videos, if you look in the comment section, I look at every single comment. If you look in the comment section, there are no men. There are no men defending the actions. Not in one of my videos. Just the one man that said women do it too. What that says to me is they know, but they're going to ignore the proof, right?
It's just so crazy to me
Yeah.
for you to even say that women do it. Come on, can we just leave delusional land one time during this conversation?
Not if it benefits women.
Women are not doing this. And you know how they like to say, oh, it's just a small group of men. This is
Yeah.
over 50 videos with 50 different men
Yes.
in 50 almost different places from all
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
How is it only a small amount of men?
It's not. It's not. And this video can go on forever. I can't wait to get to video 100. I'm halfway there. Like I have people sending me videos. They're tagging me in videos. I go into my if I go into my inbox at least every hour, I got over 100 people in that comment section, tagging me, mentioning me, like trying to get me to see these videos. I got mutuals. I got people I don't know. I have women sending me videos asking me to post them. It's just absolutely, I'm almost like my storage is almost full because I don't have anywhere to house all these videos that I'm getting. I can clearly get to 100. If I decided to post right now tonight, I could post 100 videos. I can get to 100. So I could post another 50 videos right now.
That is sad.
It really is. And none of those men are the same man. No, they're not the same man.
I refuse to believe that it's a small amount of men when you have this many videos and not one video is a repeat video of the same
Exactly.
man.
Yep. And that was the point of the video, because I hear so many times men on here saying that it's, what did they say? It was 90% of women with 30% of men. So all our kids, they all related. They cousins. It just makes no sense. But then we have the proof right here in just this series alone. We have the proof that it's a majority of you guys, but half of them will never admit that they have done something similar to what's in these videos. And that's why you don't have them in the videos defending themselves. You don't. There is not a video that I posted, and I got a whole lot of videos. There is not a video that I posted that talked about a man that I don't have a man in my comment section ready to tussle until now.
How can you really defend it when it's in your face? You would listen. I've always been told that it is better to be thought to be a fool than to open your mouth and prove it.
Improve
That's
it.
what's happening right now, because to go up under these comments as a man to try to defend these actions would be foolish.
Yeah.
And that's
But aren't
probably
they?
why they aren't speaking.
But aren't they foolish though? They just don't want to take accountability, right? They don't want to take accountability. And we all know that a hit dog will holler every time, because typically they are going to defend themselves. They're going to be windmilling and everything else, right? Sliding down the walls, throwing tantrums to defend themselves. But at the same time, they're yelling, it's not me. It's not all men. While defending men that are doing the bad behavior. But for some reason, they're not defending themselves in these videos. And you know why? They're not defending themselves because it's not to the extreme. It's not to the, in their minds. Now, when it's starting to get to the extreme. These next few are really bad. Yeah. But the ones that they've seen, it's things that they believe that every man, why is that? It ain't no problem. Like, we all do that. Like, that ain't no. Now, once they start getting to the extreme, we gonna start seeing more men come out, try to windmill and take up for each other. That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you. The more these videos get rough, and they are about to get rough. They are. And I've been having to put a trigger warning on some of them because it is getting ready to get rough. That's when they're going to come out, because now they're going to feel like we're attacking them. They're going to feel like we're talking to them. We're talking about them, right? We're putting their stuff out. So that's when they're going to come in and try to defend themselves.
Do you think that you can provoke aggression in someone that does not have it? And let me state why I'm asking that question. A lot of men will say they're a good guy, but then turn around and say they hit someone because she provoked them. I know plenty of good guys that have been hit and they just walked away. So I am a firm believer that if it's not in you, it can't come out of you. I'm not a thief. You had $1 million right here and you came back, you still have $1 million. So I truly believe that if it's not in you, it's not going to come out of you. And I have a hard time believing that if you're not an aggressive person, aggression can be pulled out of you. It has to be there underlying somewhere.
I actually agree with that. I think extreme aggression is extreme aggression, because I can in my head, I'm like, okay, me yelling at you, getting upset, that may be a little bit of aggression too, right? And you can pull that out, but I'll never put my hands on you. Do I think that I can pull out you hitting me and you've never hit anyone else? No. If you hit me, you done hit somebody else too, right? If you knock my head between the washer and dry, I ain't the first one you done did that to. So I agree with you. I don't think that something someone does can create something new in you, a new response that you've never, like, not when it's that serious. No, right. I just don't. Yeah.
Okay. I've had that conversation, and I truly believe that the mouth often speaks what the heart cannot. And that's why you will find that when somebody is upset with you, what they carry in their heart automatically slips out of their mouth. It's not so much that they have to be drunk to say it, they have to have that mm, to say it. And anger kind of brings that. And so a
Right.
lot of times how somebody truly feels about you when they're angry comes out at that time because
Mm-hmm.
it adds that in.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like they become the Incredible Hulk and they're
Yeah.
invincible and they can say anything to you when they're angry. I know people
I,
also that can get upset, and my father was one of those people, and you couldn't move him. And so that's why I said I don't believe that if something is not in you, it will not come out of you. Like in
mm-hmm.
order for a mother to protect her child, there has to be some type of fight in her.
Yeah.
Whereas on a regular basis, she's not a violent person.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fighter deep down inside. So when something happens and she has to defend her young, that fighter comes out. And I can give
Mm-hmm.
the example that there are some women that are docile. And even when something happens to their children, they are still docile.
That's all.
So
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that all of a sudden
I
you
don't
got a
believe that.
burst of courage from
Mm-hmm.
somewhere when you've never. It's just I have a hard time believing that something can come out of you that's not in you.
I see that. I understand what you're saying. And I think I do definitely agree. I think that in my head, extreme cases too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking extreme, right? And I agree. If it's in you, it's there. And there was nothing that I did to make something new happen. It was always there. Whether you were holding it back or not, it was always there.
Yeah.
Whether you were able to control it or not, it was always there. So, and if anybody's able to control you like that, and a lot of these men make that excuse too, right? And like you said, they do. They make that excuse that they're anytime. Let's say this first. Let me rewind. If any man tell you that he is a good guy, that red flag should jump up like this. Don't. Mm-mm. A lion ain't never had to tell you he was a lion, right? We just know he a lion because
Mm-hmm.
he act like a lion.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime a man tells you he's good, he ain't. That's number one. That's your first red flag. And men, I actually heard a man say this today that he was a good guy until she said something crazy to him and then it triggered him. No, it triggered that guy that you actually really are. The good guy is an act. That person that came out that she triggered, that's who you were, sir. But they don't look at it like that. They want to blame women. They blame us for everything. So that's another way to blame us for their actions.
I was talking to my co-host yesterday because we did a recording, and I'll share a story with you that became very profound to me as I was thinking about this show, and I've thought about it before in the past. And it was something that my ex-husband said to me about a lady that he used to date prior to meeting me. She was an older woman, and that older woman had been in an abusive relationship. She had ran from city to city trying to get away from the guy that that she dated prior to him, and he said something to me. And after being in a relationship with him, I kind of understood why he said that and who he really
Mm-hmm.
was. And I'm not saying that he is a bad person, but the statement that I'm about to make let me know that most men think they're good men because you're not doing something that someone else is doing. So, for
Right.
instance, the dude that she was with used to beat on her. He wasn't someone that would hit on you, but he made the statement, I can just come in and out however, whenever I want because she think I'm a good dude just based on the mere fact that I'm not hitting on her. He said that
Right.
out of his own mouth. And what that should have been, he said that so many years ago, like when I first started talking to him. Of course, it wasn't profound at that time. I'm not even paying attention.
Mm-mm.
We were young. I'm 51 now. This was in our late.
Hindsight is 2020,
Yeah,
right?
you know what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
get now that when I started doing the show and the podcast when it started last year that season, I started thinking back on some of the things that he said. And 2 weeks into us meeting each other at work, we were talking. We were just in the talking phase. We were not in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship, just talking. And we were standing by the vending machine. And he looked at me and said, "Can I feel on your butt?" And I was like, "No, who asked somebody that at work?" That was a red flag. Who says that to someone at work?
At work.
So now that I'm older and I've gone through the relationship, all of those things made sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he was not a decent person. He was not as performative either. Like, he can get by. But he definitely did not wear the good guy. He's not a bad person. But he definitely was not
he's not a good guy.
He was not a good guy. And most men think they're good guys because they do good things. I've seen men come on panels and say that they are mentors and coaches. That would be a good guy to me. Oh, you love the kids. But then the next breath, you're sitting on the panel cursing out women, calling them whores and bitches.
Exactly.
So you're not really a good guy. You're
but
doing
I ain't hit nobody though.
Thing.
But I ain't put my hands on nobody though. I ain't never hit no woman.
That's what I'm saying. So they really think that their actions make them good. And that's why I always say good is performative for the benefit of something. In this case, it would be praise.
Yes.
But if you're asking people, can I feel on you? And making comments saying things like, oh, I ain't beating on the so I'm a good guy. You ain't really a good guy.
You're not a good guy. You're not. And they will argue you down. Do you hear me? They will argue you down and be like, I am. But you just called me a bitch, sir. Yeah, you just called me a bitch. But you're a good guy. But I don't call my girl no bitch. I'm calling you one.
And if you respect women, then I should be no more of a bitch than your girl is. Exactly. It's as simple as that. And this selective protection where you get to choose how you protect.
Then you're not a protector.
Then you're not a protector. You are a selective protector.
Yes. Yeah.
Firemen and policemen, they don't get to choose when they come out. You gotta go. Now, whether they do the job when they get there, they don't get to choose where you go when protection is called.
Right.
Well, you know what? I ain't gonna go to that house. I'm gonna go to this one over here.
Go over here. Yeah.
So you get to choose now? Even though that house ain't even on fire, you get to choose this house when this one is burning down?
Too much protection I gotta do over here. So I'm gonna go on over here where
this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't understand. Do you think that the saying women dress like that for attention is harmful?
I do. Because the reason why I think it's harmful is because it's actually them projecting again. Right? It's them projecting. What I have on should not cause me harm. Right? It's not causing me harm. It has nothing to do with what I'm wearing. It has everything to do with the person who wants to harm me. No matter what I have on, you're going to want to harm me. But this is the thing too. And I heard the public offender say this today in one of his videos. And I was like, oh, that was good. That was good. He said that men who have daughters understand that it's all men. He said, and then he showed a video of a father watching his daughter walk into the room with this little bitty dress on. And he was just looking at his daughter and shaking his head like, and he said that man understands that it's all men. Because that man understands that there are going to be men out there that are going to be looking at his daughter and objectifying his daughter the way he does when he sees girls in dresses like that. Right? So we have to understand that a predator is a predator, is a predator, is a predator, no matter what you have on. Hence, I did a video of the What You Were Wearing Museum. Have you heard about that?
I have heard of it.
So I did a video about that. And I think that was another one of my viral videos that I was so happy that one went viral because it was so deep. And I had women tell me how they cried when they saw it. It was just really sad. But in just my clip alone, it showed a pamper. It showed a onesie. It showed a sweatsuit. It showed tennis shoes, jeans, and a sweatshirt. Right? It showed the little dress. It showed a wedding dress. The extreme of the extremity of the things that were being showed, where these women were being harmed, says that it has nothing to do with the clothes and everything to do with the man, the predator. He was going to do it no matter what you had on. It is about proximity.
Absolutely correct, because I was wearing a pink jumpsuit that zipped down the front with some white tennis shoes, kid tennis shoes on, with 4 pigtails in my hair, and I was 4 years old,
Oh,
walking down the street with my brother and taken off of the street at 4, kidnapped, taken to
oh
the
my God.
woods, raped, and returned to my family. So you're absolutely correct. It does not matter what you have on. A predator is a predator is a predator.
Yes.
And you can blame the clothing, but there was nothing that my 4-year-old jumpsuit, it wasn't skin tight, it wasn't too short. It was back in the 70s because I was
Yeah.
4.
Mm-hmm.
So it was baggy. I was raised in a 2-parent Christian home. So there was nothing about me that said, hey, I need some attention here. But there just happened to be a predator that was around. And this was an 18-year-old man that stayed across the street from my family home that used to come over and draw pictures of me and my siblings for my parents. So we knew him. So that's why we were even talking to him walking to the store. But even at that age, I knew he was up to something. I knew he was up to something. And I thought to throw my umbrella into the store, because the question he was asking my brother was, let your sister stand outside with me and I'll give you $5. So if you'll let her stay out here with me while you go into the store, I'll give her $5. I'll give you $5. And so I found that question to be crazy. Why are you asking him that? And I was 4 at the time. And when we got to the store, my brother go into the store and I try to throw my umbrella because I'm still standing at the door. Because remember, he's letting me stay outside with the guy. And
Yeah.
mid-air, he grabbed me. I didn't even make it
Oh
into the
my
store.
goodness.
So I was
I'm
wearing a
so
jumpsuit.
sorry.
So you're absolutely correct. It has nothing to do with
No,
what someone is wearing. A predator
no,
is a predator. It
yeah.
had nothing to do with what I was wearing in the family home. My biological father, was my predator. So it has nothing to do with where you are. You can
No,
be harmed anywhere.
yes.
And most young
Yeah.
girls suffer some type of physical and sexual abuse at the hands of someone that they know, usually the biological father.
Definitely. 100%. Our biggest predator are the ones we're sleeping next to, right? It we're always in danger, right? No, and again, going back to the series, it proves it. We're always in danger. In that series, in all of these different videos, these women are in different places minding their own business. They're in different places minding their own business when these men are walking up to them.
At their jobs.
Yeah. Did you see the one with the guy who walked into the place, the waxing place? Did you see that one? No, he was talking to a guy. He came in for an appointment. And he told the guy that he had an appointment with the sweet little 19-year-old Ashley. And he said, "You have an appointment for what?" He said, "A manzillion." And he said, "Well, Ashley is not comfortable with doing it, so I'm gonna do it." He goes, "No. What about Ashley?" And he goes, "No, Ashley's not gonna do it." "Well, I want that sweet little thing, Ashley. She the 19-year-old to do me." It was absolutely disgusting.
No, I
And
didn't.
you can tell by his voice. This is an old man. You can tell by his voice. It doesn't matter. They're predators. And if they want to sit up and act like they don't know nobody that do it, right? I don't know nobody like that. I don't know nobody that would do something like that. Yes, you do. You just ignore it.
They're the somebody.
Yeah, it's you and it's your homies. You know your homie that was telling you how he knocked his wife head between the washer and dryer because she said something crazy and you justified it. Oh, she disrespected you. So yeah, I see why you did it. But you didn't forgot about that. And in most cases, they just excuse it
Mm-hmm.
because they feel like she did something to warrant it.
Right.
And that's where the problem comes in. You guys would, the men who have probably never put their hands on someone, the men who do not harm women, are just as bad as the ones that do because they say nothing about it. And let's also be clear, if the majority of men are not doing it, Why the hell haven't you stopped the ones that are? Because why, if it's not the majority of you, that means that it's the minority.
Right.
Then the majority, who are these good guys, should have gotten together and took the minority out. But you haven't.
I agree.
Yeah. You complacent in it, so you just as guilty.
I had to have this conversation with my son, who is 15. He wasn't 15 at the time, he was more like 13. And he was on the school bus, and there were some kids that were, acting up on the bus, and he was laughing like all the rest of the kids, but they were attacking someone's mother who was the bus driver. Not him, but the kids that he was laughing at because they thought it was funny. And he didn't make it home, and he had no way to call me. And I had just moved to Vegas, and so I was panicking because I called his dad, and I'm like, look, he didn't get off the bus. And then some kids that I had seen standing at the bus stop before told me that there was an issue on the bus, and during the drop off, the bus driver just closed the door and decided to go back to the school, and that the parents had to pick their kids up. I don't know why he didn't call me or whatever, but anyway, when on the way home, I was having a conversation with him, and I said, you cannot be part of the crowd. You cannot, it's not funny. That's someone's mother. That's somebody's sister. It's somebody's aunt. She's someone's niece. She is somebody's mother. And if that was me or your sisters, would you think it was funny? And then he said, no. I said, then it's not funny for someone else's mother. And you really have to have these type of conversations when boys are little, because they're really conditioned, even when they're little, to have that behavior. And I don't think a lot of men understand that when you make everything about a girl bad, when you say stuff like stop crying like a girl or toughen up, only girls do that, you're building negative connotations in that child's brain. So as they grow, they're going to always be thinking, well, I don't want to be like a girl, so I'm not going to cry. Well, I don't want to be like a girl, so I'm going to be tough. Because they look at girl as being bad, just like men look at us as being masculine, being bad, but it's okay for them to be masculine. That's crazy. If masculine is such a good thing, then what's wrong if I'm masculine?
Why can't I do it?
I've had those conversations with my son because I think it's important to understand. I don't know if his father's having those conversations or not, because I parent how I parent. He goes to his house, so and it seems to be working.
Good.
But I have those conversations with him because I am a woman, and I'm a woman first. I'm a woman before I'm even your mother. And I've told him, if you are out here acting like some of these guys, because sometimes he listens to the panels. When I'm riding in the car, I'm listening to the panels. And I say, if I ever catch you out here acting like this, I will disown you. I will take you out of the wheel. I will, and I'm serious. Like, I will disown you, because there is no way.
Yeah.
There's
I remember
no way.
having that same conversation with my son. Yeah, I remember it. I remember like it was yesterday, having that same exact conversation. And you have to have that conversation with him just like that.
You do. And you have to give it from a perspective of, it's okay to express yourself, but you need to know how to regulate your emotions. You need to first determine why you're upset and why it is affecting you that way. And if you can get that answer and understand, then you're more able to regulate your emotions. But just getting upset and feeling like the first thing you need to do is hit, that is an anger problem.
And I definitely want to say, because I think this is, for me, I made sure with my son that I brought up and explained to him at a young age what emotions are. Because what I realized when it comes with a lot of men is that they only believe that us crying is emotional, right? That's what they think about all the time. Women are so emotional. All they be thinking about is crying or feeling that. What about anger? Because anger is an emotion as well. It may be a secondary emotion, but it's definitely an emotion. So you have to understand, because what I've experienced as an adult woman is that men's first go-to is anger that we see. They're gonna hide the first emotion, which may be hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is because they don't ever tell us. But the one that the one that we see is anger, right? So I used to tell my ex-husband, you are angry first. The very first thing that you feel is anger. And that's a problem because the response is not going to do well. We're not going to respond well together. You can't be angry with me and then get mad at me showing you the same exact emotion. Because now I'm mad too. Hell, we both mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get this together.
Mm-hmm.
But in most cases, it's only okay to show anger when it comes to men. And that's the problem. So we have to be more vocal about saying to them, just being angry is not okay. Now, anger is okay. It's okay to feel that if that's what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But the response to it is what you need to work on.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's okay to feel, period. If you're happy, that's an emotion. If you're sad, emotion. Angry, emotion. All of these things are emotions that is okay for you to feel. They're not being told that.
No, they're not.
They're being told that if you cry, you're a punk. You're not a man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. And it's a problem that men don't see. They don't see it because even on the TikTok app, right? We're gonna talk about that because that's where we met at. On on the TikTok app alone, if you sit in any of those lives, these men will tell you straight out, they will tell you, yeah, this man over here, if he up here, he talking about he pandering to women. If he agreeing with you, he pandering, he a simp.
Mm-hmm.
Any man that they come across that is respectful to women, they're not good. They're a simp. They're a panderer. Is this not exactly what we see with boys growing up?
Mm-hmm.
Is it not?
It is exactly.
So they are conditioned to only show anger. They're conditioned, and the fact that they ignore that and they think it's normal is what's sad.
And those are the conversations that I was saying that I had with my son because he has very easy feelings. And sometimes when you say things, he will harbor on it for a while. I haven't been that long, got divorced from his father, even though we were separated long before we got a divorce because I just needed to make sure that my son was good. It's been more than 4 years, but I have those conversations with him because I need him to understand that you're entitled to feel however you feel. Yes. But I do need you to understand why you feel that way. And then be able to, when you get those feelings, learn to regulate your emotions so that we can talk through whatever it is you're going through, because he is an introvert. And I tell him all the time, if you stop talking to me, I will put you into therapy because you have to talk.
You have to talk. Yeah.
He was like, well, I don't want to go to therapy. I'll talk to you. And he does. He does talk to me.
Good.
And he asks a lot of questions. He's very mature. He has a book that he wrote, and it's on Amazon called I Am King. And it's like a inspirational little affirmations journal for young men and for older men as well. And I had to get him out there, and he did a little book signing a few years ago. And I think they kind of brought him out of his shell, but he's very much introverted. But at home, he asks a whole lot of questions. He will bring things to me, and I'd be like, wow, he's at that age thinking about that. So I can say, thankfully, he's on track. And if I keep him on track.
Yes.
On track.
Sounds like it. That's a blessing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask the question, why do you feel like men pretend they don't understand boundaries?
Because then they would have to respect the boundary. That's easy. They would have to, if they use the ignorance as an excuse, right? Even though we know they know, but they can't let on that they know, because then what reason would they have to not respect it? I truly believe that it's that simple. These men are not stupid. If they are smart enough to manipulate and gaslight, then they're smart enough to not admit the thing that will have them in a whole lot of trouble. Right? They have been conditioned to be sneaky liars and fake masculine. All this stuff is conditioning. Because look, you can't tell me they don't know.
You just made me think about something. I had went out with this guy. I saw him on and off for about 2 years. And one weekend I was at his house This is like this is my second time going to his house, as a matter of fact. And we've known each other for 2 years, going on 3 years. And it was my second time going to his house. And I was there for like a couple of days. And so I had asked him, I forgot what it was. It was a couple of things that I asked him throughout the weekend. And his response to me was like, huh? Like I was bothering him when I was asking him. There was some other stuff going on. I don't want to mention that because I'm not going to put anybody's business out there. But I was just asking him, are you okay? I noticed that the last couple of times I said something to you, you seemed kind of bothered. Is everything okay? Me asking that one question, something that a man would say, women don't care about your feelings or they don't care what you're going through. I asked that question. That question turned into a whole conversation about his ex-wife. And if it was something wrong, I would have told you it was wrong. It was just, and I'm just sitting there, I'm listening. And then he said, I can't hardly hear out of one ear. So when you asked me the questions, it was really that I couldn't hear. And I was like, oh, well, I've been talking to this man for almost 2 years. We went out probably 6 or 7 times within that 2 years, if that much. Maybe let's take it down to like 4 or 5, maybe. Those 2 times that I was with him may have been my 6th or 7th time. He lives in California. I live in Vegas. So we don't see each other all the time. Don't even talk to each other all the time. That's why I said it wasn't dating. He was just somebody I knew, cool friend. We went out a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to him, and then he said I couldn't hardly hear. And I was like, well, I don't know him for 2 years, and I've never had a hearing issue problem with him. So I thought that was a lie. But even though I thought it was a lie, I did not call him a liar. I just kept a mental note. Where did this come from all of a sudden you can't hear? But then it quickly switched from, and my ex-wife, she used to say things that could cut a man, like how she used to talk to men. And I'm saying to myself, I'm not your ex-wife. I'm not even talking to you like that. So why are we having a conversation about your ex-wife? And what that told me was a couple of things. He was not going to be somebody that I was going to be able to communicate with. Because as soon as I brought an issue to you, or what I thought to be an issue, you immediately went on the defense and you wanted to argue about it when it was just a simple conversation.
Yeah.
Then you started bringing up your ex-wife and talking to me about how she talked to you in the past when you could have just went to therapy and got over how she talked to you.
Good luck with that.
But don't think that you're getting ready to get into a relationship with me. And now every time I say something to you about how you made me feel or something that you've done to me, I got to hear this long drawn out story about your ex-wife because it's not getting ready to happen. So I let the conversation go that night only because we were getting ready to go out to dinner, and he has a roommate that keeps his dogs when he travels, and the guy stays with him. And so we went out to eat. I didn't really say much all the way there because in my mind, I done already made up in my mind, this is probably his last time seeing me, but I'm on his territory in his house. So I'm not going to do anything crazy. Not that I thought, anything was going to happen because, I can go there too. But I just kept my mouth closed and I just kind of peeped the situation because I am an observer, and I observed this man for 2 years. And this is when the mask dropped. So the next morning, he wakes me up. I don't say anything that night. I come home, we get in the bed, I go to sleep. I don't know what he's doing. I guess eventually he came down to bed, he went to sleep as well. Next morning, I wake up, he says, hey, can you take me to the car dealership to get my car service? And I'm like, sure. So I drive him to the car dealership. And while we're there, there's this little breakfast place. And so he's like, hey, let's get something to eat. I wasn't really hungry because, I'm still debating on what I'm getting ready to do this morning. Check.
Yeah, trying to get up out of here.
Right, I'm just waiting, But now he didn't ask me to take him to get his car, so I want to take him and go pick him back up. So now I'm trying to record my podcast, and I'm thinking about the time. It's a lot of stuff going on right now. He ain't one of them things that's going on. So he asked me, let's go get something to eat. So when he said, let's get something to eat, I'm not the type of person that like things to harbor. So I attempt the conversation again. And I start off with something I didn't start off 2 years ago. And I said, I would like to set some boundaries moving forward. And I didn't get a chance to say what the boundaries were. Because as soon as I said, I would like to set some boundaries moving forward. And one of the boundaries was going to be don't raise your voice at me. If you want me to leave your presence, that is the quickest way to get rid of me, is to raise your voice when I'm talking to you. Another thing is to be continuously cutting me off.
Oh, I hate that.
While I'm trying to explain myself, but then feeling like you get to say whatever it is that you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't do that in that particular conversation. I just stopped talking the night before because of the roommate who was going to walk through the house. And then the next morning, I felt like breakfast would be a great time. We're out in public. I'm just peeping the scene. So when I say what I say, he's like, well, the first thing is there's this little certain thing called accountability. And I just looked at him because all I saw was Kevin Samuels on his forehead.
Yeah.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I never really heard any men say anything about accountability until Kevin Samuels came out. And there was no accountability for me to take. I don't even know what you're talking about. So when he say that, I'm just looking at him because I know right now where the conversation is not going. I know we're not going to be able to have a conversation because ego has entered the conversation. I asked you to set a boundary. And in that, I said, please do not raise your voice. I'm never going to raise my voice at you. I'm never going to be disrespectful to you, but I need you to lower your voice. I'm not talking loud. His voice was carrying in the restaurant. So he was talking loud. And I'm like, listen, I guarantee you that the people that are in here can hear us. You're talking loud. He was like, well, I just don't want to talk anymore. I said, so now you're going to throw a tantrum. You're going to throw a tantrum at the table because you don't get to talk to me how you want to talk. I said, okay. So we get in the car. I'm thinking the conversation is over with, and he bring it up again. And at this point, I say, so I let him, whatever he doing, because in my mind, I already know what's up. So he just going on and on and on, full of chaos. And I turn and say, what time does your vehicle need to be picked up? And he says, I don't know. And if you don't want to take me, you don't have to. I said, and now you're acting like a child. He went from a full-blown adult to a toddler in less than 10 minutes. I saw so many stages of him in that amount of time from that conversation at the table, me just simply saying, let's set some boundaries, that I've seen in 2 years.
Yeah, you can't do that. And then we got to also remember that most of them don't even know the definition of accountability. They thinking accountability means punishment.
Yes.
That's what accountability means to them.
Yes.
Right?
They want to see you suffer.
They want us to suffer. And because we're not suffering, then we don't take accountability. But girl, they will have a whole mantra on you and turn into a 9-year-old little boy in a minute. That's sad.
And I'm not going to lie and say that there weren't red flags, but he wasn't somebody that I was seeing on a regular basis. He was just a friend. Like he would just come in town and we would go out to eat, or he would call me and say, I'm coming in town. And so he was not anybody that I was dating seriously or anything like that. And but it took 2 years. And then less than 10 minutes for you to go from an adult to a full-fledged toddler.
Yeah. Yeah.
All over a conversation about, are you okay? Is anything wrong with you? Because that's what it was about the night before. Are you okay?
That's crazy.
Just checking on him because there were some other things that were going on in his life, and I wanted to make sure that he was good,
But that's what they want, right? They want a woman that's going to check on them and make sure all is good and play mommy to them and making sure that we give them everything they need to feel like a man. What you
I don't
need,
have them type of patience. Listen, the next after I got back to his house, he went to the bathroom. I went upstairs, packed my stuff, got in the car, left. Never said goodbye. Never said a word. Just walked right on out the house, got in my car, and left. And ain't looked back, ain't had a conversation, because this is me. I'm not arguing with you. If you're an adult, you need to learn how to communicate. And one of my boundaries is, if you raise your voice at me, this is the end. Because at this point, the age that we are, I'm 51 and he's in his 60s.
Oh.
You should know how to communicate at your big age.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through a lecture about your ex-wife every time I try to have a conversation with you because you didn't have the balls to speak up to her. Now you think you gonna, because you thought I was some little docile female, because I can play the role. But if you get with me, I'm gonna get with you.
Oh, I match energy good.
That's what I'm saying. I'm that person. I
Yeah.
will match your energy. And you can get all the femininity out of me that you want to get out of me. But when you rub me the wrong way, you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Two can play that game. I got as much of it in me as you got of it in you.
100%.
Do you think that men's behavior when they act, I hate to even ask this question.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Do you think that men's behavior when they act emotionally like they do on the panels, do you think that impacts women's view as a collective about how most men are?
Yeah. 100% it does. Girl, these easy questions. Yes. Yes. Look, have you followed Yellow Chick?
Who?
Yellow Chick?
Yes, absolutely. She was one of the first people that I followed when I got on TikTok.
Okay. So Yellow Chick does a series. I don't even let the men talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes women come in and if they're new, they don't get it. And they're always in the comments and they're always going, why are you guys letting this happen? And because she's good at letting them talk. And when I tell you they crash out, she give them 5 minutes to crash out and say whatever it is that they want to say. And you have those women who are new in the space. This just happened, I think, day before yesterday, on Monday. And you get women who come in who've never been there before, and they hear these men crashing out, and they're asking in the comment section, why? Why do you guys let these men do this? Why are you giving him a platform? Not understanding that that's her point. Her point is to give these men the platform so women can see them in their natural habitat, so to speak. Right? Because when you tell them that the stage is theirs and they can say whatever they want,
They will.
they are going to tell you the truth. Now, this crash out was so epic the other day. This man, I tell you, this was an epic one to where we was talking about it after, like, man, that was crazy. He crashed out talking about us, calling us all out our name. All the women in the room was all the B's and the 304s and fatherless and single baby mamas. Everything that you've heard the red pillars and Kevin Samuel say, he said it. Well, he had gotten so deep into it because nobody had interrupted him. He thought he was talking to his baby mama. He started to morph into, I came and picked him up. I paid my child support. No matter what I do for you, you still have to say. Oh, he forgot where he was.
He was in character.
He had said everything to that baby mama that he couldn't say before. He said it to her right there on that panel. He forgot. And in my mind, this is who they are. No matter who they pretend to be, this is who they are. They're angry. And they're angry because he said all of that. And then he morphed and started screaming at his baby mama and started telling his baby mama that he gave her the child support and he picked his son up and why won't you let me come by and pick him up when I want to? I pay this. He went into this full out, rant. And he said all of the things that I guess he wanted to say to her and couldn't. He said right there on that live. These men have been conditioned to believe they're angry. That's number one. They are angry human beings.
Whoa.
Okay.
What did y'all do when he snapped out of it, or did he ever snap out of it?
What she does is she give them 5 minutes. She has a song that she plays in the background called Crash Out. While they screaming, this song is playing. When they're done, she drop them.
So when he got done crashing out, nobody had a chance to say anything to him. Y'all just dropped him from the panel. That is so freaking embarrassing.
That's it.
That you are that damaged from your baby mama that you will come onto a panel of strangers
Yeah.
to yell and scream and get out your frustration and then completely think you talking to her. That sounds like mental illness to me.
Yeah. They're angry. And they're angry because what they were told is not happening. They were promised women if, right? Other men told them they are protectors, they are providers. That's what they told them.
Mm-hmm.
But because they cannot protect and they cannot provide, now they mad at the women. Because the women expected them to do the very thing that they told us that they was going to do. So they mad at women. They mad at women because they cannot do the things that get the women. So what do they have to do? They have to try to down you, diminish you, try to break your confidence, because then maybe you will settle for him. They're angry because they're not getting the women that they want. And they're mad about it because they feel like they're entitled to us. Because that's how they've been told that life is. Women, you are the prize. They should be happy to have you. A woman don't ever want to be single. She has to have a man. She needs you. But even though you can't protect and provide, you still feel entitled to said woman.
Do you feel like your series kind of shows how men view rejection as disrespect versus it just being, I don't like you?
Again, it goes like I just said, they feel entitled. Because and this is really what I see. And in a lot of the videos that I posted in that series, I see, to me, he's saying, how dare you say no to me? That's literally what I hear. How dare you say no to me? How dare you not want to talk to me? How dare you not put your phone down when you see I'm trying to talk to you? How dare you threaten to pepper spray me? Do you know who I am? I'm mad. That's literally how I believe they think. Every single time I hear a man say something like, well, if you don't want no man talking to you, why you come out the house? Why you even go to the club? In their minds, women do everything to
For the
get
male
their
gaze.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
So if they come up to us, that means that we won. We got exactly what we came out to get, his attention. So when we go, no, ew, we don't want your attention. Now it's bitch, what? How dare you? Now we everything under the kitchen sink. Now we being called a lot of names, right? Simply because we're not interested. Whether we're nice about it, because did you see the one where the lady was really, really nice on the motorcycle? Did you see that one?
I didn't see that one.
Super, super nice. And he walked up to her. I never forget, his name is Sean, because I remember that. He walked up to her. She said she got a camera on her motorcycle, so it's just showing her. She's still in the helmet. She got on our little riding gear. He walked up. Hey, my name is Sean. And she's like, hi, how are you? And he was like, I'm good. You know, I wanted to see if I could get your number.
She
and
white?
She's like, oh, I don't give out my number.
Was she a white lady?
You can't tell because she got the helmet on.
Okay.
I think she was like Asian.
I think I know what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. And then when she said that she doesn't give out her number, he threw water in her face.
Yes.
Yes. See, right there proves. How dare you not want me? How dare you not want me? This is why when you're not interested, then they start calling you fat and ugly after they tried to talk to you.
I think that women for men are seen as a source of validation. So if a woman does not validate you, it's almost like that rejection kind of threatens their identity, because I'm a man as long as somebody wants me. But if a woman cannot validate me as somebody that's needed and or wanted, because a lot of them aren't needed or wanted, you know, some of them might not be needed. Somebody might just want you, but a lot of them are not needed and or wanted. And I think if you cannot get someone, I can see how that would threaten what you've always been told, is that I am the man, I must lead, be a protector and a provider. There's this guy, and I don't know his name, but I've seen a couple of his videos a few times. Kind of heavier guy, older. It looks like he may be like his mid-30s, but he kind of reminds me of one of those incels that sit in and they hack computers all the time. He's a bigger guy, and he constantly walks around town with his cell phone talking about how he can't get dates from women. And I'm not talking about the one with the crusty lips, because that's the crazy. He seems kind of like he has some type of mental issue. But I'm talking about this guy. He seems like he might be on the spectrum a little bit as well, but it's not as bad as the other guy. and he just walks around town holding his phone, just detailing how. And he just did one the other night saying he was hoping that the date that he was on would be his date to like Christmas and New Year's, but it didn't work out. So here I am again alone, and I was gonna go and get me a suit, and I'm just like, this is embarrassing. Is this what it has come to, that you feel like you have to record every single waking day of your lonely life to show that you are truly lonely? But these are the same men that will get online and tell us you're going to be lonely, you're going to unalive with the cat, because that's truly how they see themselves. And so I do
100%.
feel like women are a source of validation for men.
But I'll go even further. I agree with you 100%. But I'll also go further and say the validation is to other men, not necessarily to themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because they value what other men think of them. This is
Absolutely.
why if they're in a situation, they bring a woman around, those guys be like, nah, dog, he'll stop dating her because his validation lies with other men, right? And that's what's sad. I truly, truly, truly believe that men are emotionally attracted to other men.
Right.
They're sexually attracted to women, but they're emotionally attracted to men.
I can agree with that.
So that's why they believe everything a man says. The one man who do not have a wife but has slept with 65 women will be the man they listen to over the man that have the very thing that they wish they had. Right? Because this man who has slept with 65 women, he is the weakest link, so he's the squeakiest. He's the loudest. Like Kevin Samuels. He was the loudest, right? Because he was the weakest link. So they all swarm to him. Why? Because they saw something in him that they see in themselves. And that's weakness. Right? This man over here that did the work and got a wife and living happily ever after, that listens to his wife, won't do the things with his homeboys because his wife don't like it. They don't want to do the work to be him, but they want what he have without doing the work. But doing the very thing that is not going to get him the wife. Make that make sense. And it's all because trauma bond is real. They see the man over here that looks and sounds a lot like them, and they're attracted to it. And they stick over here. But they never getting what they actually want. So what does it cause? It causes anger, frustration, right? Because I'm not getting the very thing that I said that I want. But I refuse to do the work though. But I still want what I said that I want without doing the work. But I got all my homies over here with me, so it ain't just me.
I think Kevin Samuels, for a lot of men, was the closest thing to a father that they had.
That's so sad.
It is very sad, because although he gave them the decrepit and degenerate advice that he did give them, he unalived with the very woman that he told them to stay away from.
Exactly.
He was also twice failed divorce.
And not taking his kids, old child
And a deadbeat.
and a deadbeat. Room with some woman. Imagine that.
I'm not taking that type of advice. I'm just not taking the type of advice. If you are not a millionaire, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be hard for you to tell me how to become one unless you were once a millionaire and you lost it all. I think that's the only way that I would listen to a person who is not a millionaire tell me how to become one. You had to already have been one and you lost it. That's like me listening to a woman who ain't never had a baby tell me how to have one. Unless you are a licensed professional doula or something like that, and most of them have had children, I don't want to really hear what you have to say, because I can't really take your advice only but with a grain of salt. You don't have a lived experience. And a lot of times I may give advice, but I don't say that it's the law. Unless I'm giving my advice in a professional setting, then it's a law to my profession, but not necessarily a law to what I do in my everyday life. And so a lot of times I will tell people that I know, if you don't want me to tell you the truth, do not ask me.
I say the same thing.
Because I'm not going to sugarcoat for you. I'm going to tell you, do somehow I would do it, because I know how I would do it. I'm not going to say, well, if I were you, I'm like, well, this is how I would do it. If I were you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I also don't just offer up my advice and when my advice is not asked, because a lot of people they'll say, I want you to just tell me the truth. I want you to be real with me. And then a lot of them do not. I think I
Totally.
had a question about consent for you. And that question was, do you feel like um your footage, I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. This is one of the questions somebody actually sent me. Do you feel like your footage showcase the fact that a lot of men do not understand consent?
Definitely. So wait a minute. Let me say it like this. I I'm a read. I'm gonna change my answer because I just thought about it. I do not think that it shows they do not understand consent. I think that it shows that they do not respect consent. That's what I believe. Again, they know it. They know it just like they know boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to acknowledge it means they don't get what they want. So they have to ignore it so they can get what they want. Because the only thing that matters is what they want. So they're gonna do everything under their will to get what they want, period. Because it validates them, just like you just said. It validates them. So it's not that they don't understand it, they just don't care about it. Every single time one of these women said no, and I think it was one of the videos, she said no 9 times. Oh, the woman that was walking out the store that was videoing herself.
Mm-hmm.
I counted it. She told that man no 9 times. And she said, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. No, thank you. I'm not interested. No, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm not interested, sir. I'm not
That's the one
interested.
that walked back into the grocery store because he was okay.
Yes. 9 times. She said no. It did not stop him. And then I want you to pay attention to what happened at the end. Because he was rejected and he couldn't just say, you know what, ma'am, thank you so much for your time. You have a great day. He had to try to figure out a way to turn it around, flip it, so then he would be justified in not wanting to talk to her anymore. And what was that? Are you videoing me? When she was videoing when he approached her. But now he had to figure out a way to make it appear as if he's not interested now because she's videoing. These men are sick. I don't care what nobody says.
Do you feel like, I hope this makes sense. It will when I explain it if you need it to be explained.
Okay.
Do you feel like men get confidence and coercion confused?
Do I think that they get confidence and coercion?
Do you think they know the difference between confidence and then them actually coercing someone to do something?
I do think they know the difference.
Okay.
I do. I think they know the difference. I think that their confidence in their grandiose complex is a fine line.
Okay.
That I think they get confused. I think the grandiose complex that most of them have, they believe is just confidence. They don't realize that it's pushed over the edge of confidence, and now you're in a whole different realm. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
doing something way different than confidence. I think that again, I think men know better. They just choose not to be better and do better.
I think they know the difference. I would say, well, I'm not going to say for sure. I don't try to speak in absolutes, but I will say this. The way they explains confidence and coercion at times allows me to feel like maybe you don't really know what that word means.
They know.
And knowing what a word means and knowing what an action means is really two different things. Because if you listen
Mm-hmm.
to them on the panel, they will be demanding respect from you
While disrespecting you.
while disrespecting you at the same time. Because respect to them, love for us is love, and love for them is respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you say anything against a man, you have to not like, love, or respect him.
But only in one way.
Right. Only one way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
they only view what they consider love is really respect.
Yeah.
They don't really get deep off into the emotions. And I think that when women are dealing with men, as I do, I've been this way probably since I was younger because of the trauma that I experienced. I do not deal with men in emotions. When I am dealing with the man, I am dealing with him solely from what I think about the things that he is showing me. I do not allow my feelings to get involved in how I deal with you until I am certain within my spirit
Mm,
that this is going somewhere. Meaning, I can date you for a year and not have any type of emotional attachment to you. I
gotcha.
dated this guy for 2 years, on and off. We saw each other. I never had an emotional attachment to him. I was very encouraging to him. He was encouraged, he was encouraged to me, and I cared about him. But I never had an emotional attachment to him to the point that when he acted the way he acted, I tried to make excuses for him. I tried to say, well, maybe it's this. The minute he showed me that he crossed a boundary that was non-negotiable for me,
You
I
was done.
packed my things without giving him any type of closure, because at that point I don't need your permission to leave you. And I
Mm,
think that's all that closure is. Closure
mm,
is you waiting on somebody else to tell you what's going to happen in your life. The minute he acted outside of what I was willing to accept that were my boundaries, I removed myself from that situation.
mhm.
And that's one of the reasons why when I deal with men, I have to really be dating you for a while before I get emotionally involved. Only because I know that a lot of the times our emotions lead us off path. We start thinking with our heart and the love we have for the potential that we can see in that person. And we overlook all of the signs that
Yeah.
just be waving at us, that are just big and red. And we just go for those. And that's why I do not deal with men and emotions. And I try to tell my daughters the same thing. Even when I'm dealing with my daughters, I'll tell them sometimes I have to take my emotions out of dealing with you. Because when I have my emotions involved, or when I'm dealing with you and I'm trying to express something to you, I judge you harshly because you're my daughter. And
Right.
I expect more out of you. But I want to judge you just as any other regular human. So I take my emotions out of certain conversations that we have so that I'm not looking at you because I love you and judging you harshly. Does that make sense?
Mhm, mhm.
So when they think that they have confidence a lot of the time, they're like, yeah, man, I just kept talking to a man because, I'm that man, I'm that guy. I got that gift of gab. That's really coercion. But
Mhm,
they're describing it as confidence. And that's
mhm,
why I say I don't think they know the meaning sometimes
mhm,
of a word. Because if you know the meaning of the word, then you know how to apply it. And
mhm,
if you're in the room with a young woman and she's told you no, no matter how confident you think you are, if you continue to try to get her to sleep with you, that is no longer confidence.
mhm,
You have now crossed the line over into coercion.
mhm. And I will say that I think that they um again, I think it goes back to what they were taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were taught to not give up. And a lot of times what they believe is, and it actually have one of the videos in the series where men believe that women are playing hard to get,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in their minds, the confidence of me sticking around
Mm-hmm.
and pursuing her because she just playing hard to get. They're not, I think they know the word confident, but may not necessarily know the word corrosion,
Mm-hmm.
right? They know that what the confidence look like. And I think it may bleed over into corrosion a little bit. But if you bring up the word corrosion and tell them the word what it means, they're gonna deny it. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that at all. She just playing hard to get. You know, I think that a lot of times men play stupid just so they can continue to play stupid. I
I
just do.
say that because sometimes I sit in session, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm having conversations, and I feel like, and I almost know this to be true, they are using the tools that I'm giving them to be manipulative
Yes.
because they try it on me.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone who is not a professional and you're not doing this, and somebody does that, you're not going to recognize that that is what they're doing. And I think a lot of times when men, they think that they're so confident and that they can just get over on you. And I think at that point, you're now dealing with ego.
Yeah. 100%.
Because they come into the session and they're nice, yeah, and then they, well, how would you say this? And I don't like to give advice where I'm leading you on what to do. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to, I give you the tools and how to cope with doing certain things, but I'm not going to tell you how to approach someone and exactly how to ask someone that you're trying to be in a relationship with, because I don't believe in it. I feel like and I put a video out a couple of probably about the month or so ago, and I was talking about how dating should be difficult. If we are vetting and are to vet properly, then dating should be difficult. It should not be easy. So when you hear somebody say, man, she's just being difficult, what they're really saying is that she's not allowing me to manipulate and get over her.
Exactly.
That's what they're really saying, because
Mhm.
there's no way you can tell me that you want something substantial with someone and at the same time you want it to be easy.
Mm-mm.
If that is what you truly want, then you want someone that you can manipulate. I wanted to ask you if you had any closing remarks for today.
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much. I so appreciate you for reaching out to me. And thank you for having this conversation with me and talking about my series. I am elated that it is getting the attention that it is. I think that it deserves every bit of the attention that it's getting. If I could get one woman to look at that and then do better or see men for who they are, then I have done my job. I have done my job. I am an older one. I'm 55 years old, right? I
Good.
have been through it. I have done it. I've been married. I've been divorced. I have been through it. All I'm saying is if I can do something to help the women that came after me, I'm cool with that, because you don't get many of them that will listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
They think that you jealous and all that. If I can get a message across without saying a word, then damn it, let me. I just want to do it, right? But I did not say this when we opened up. I am on YouTube as well, as
Okay.
savvy as I am. And savvy as I am on TikTok. You can just put in at savvy,
Okay.
and I am there as well. I think my YouTube, I have two. It's the Savvy Stylist and Savvy as I am. So if anybody is here and want to follow me there, that would be great. Subscribe there. I am trying to build that page up, because
Okay.
just in case TikTok is gone, I want to be able to go over there. So I will be posting my whole series over on YouTube as soon as I
Okay.
get some time. So again, I appreciate you for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being patient with me and working with me. I appreciate you. I left my nail appointment. My
No.
nails ain't even done. Girl, look. I was like, oh, I got to go.
Well, I appreciate it. It was not that deep, because I don't know if I could have did it, Sammy. I don't know if I could have did it, but I really appreciate you doing that for me. I really wanted to put a highlight on this series and just talk about not so much as the series as to bring light to it and talk about the series, but to just get your idea. Because I was thinking, like I said earlier, I wanted to know for certain if anybody was just looking at every single video and just breaking down all the things that are happening, like I said about the first video and the security guard being at work. Like, these are people that are working, they're in the grocery store, they're in the park, and women just are being approached all over.
Yeah,
Nobody's asking to be approached, nobody has given you any signs. You can have on headphones
yeah.
and they will walk right up to you and
And start
have the
talking.
audacity to put their hand on your headphones to say something to you.
Either you put out or you leave. I'm not paying for any more dates. I'm not doing this whole, I'm a Catholic, Christian, whatever. I don't care. Okay? We're talking 2025 right now. Get real.
Then why don't y'all just leave us alone?
You don't need to come over closer.
I just want to engage briefly.
I'm okay, thank you.
I just want to say that there was a play where they said three words that I want to share with you. And that is, based on what I'm observing you're doing.
If men are really the problem, then why don't y'all just leave us alone?
Hear me? Because the audacity, the caucasity is running rapid. They give, they don't care. They are entitled and they are coming to get what they feel like they are entitled to.
I don't disagree.
Yes.
I do not disagree. I say it all the time. I do. They are such victims. I say it
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And
It's
a lot of these panels that I sit in, I've been getting people sending me stuff from different people and wanting me to go a different direction when I'm doing the podcast. And maybe I will. I like to get people's permission before I use their stuff. Some of the stuff I don't even know who it comes from because I'm not even in these lives. They're just sending it to my email, and I'm just having to go through it. And I haven't started doing anything with it yet. But for the people that I know, then I will tag them or even just reach out and say, hey, can I use this? Somebody sent this to me. I'm just all about that because I like the community of the people that I follow, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And I usually reach out to people and they respond to me, and I've not had a problem with it, but I really wanted to highlight the series and have that conversation behind the scenes about what we're really thinking about men and how they view certain things, and just as a woman how difficult it is just to be and exist in your skin, get up and just walk out of your house every day and just have a peaceful day of not ever being attacked. One of my last jobs I left was because I was at work and a guy came in that we worked with and he attacked me at my desk. He tried to force himself on me and everything. And I'm in the middle of litigation with that right now. And I wound up leaving that job. It was not in a good area, but this wasn't even about the area that it was in. This is about somebody who we worked directly with. And the thing is, he had gotten away with this so much at work before. He'd been reported, and nothing had ever happened. But I don't let stuff like that slide because I am a victim of sexual assault. And I made sure that as I moved through my life, what I went through when I had no control over my life, I was not going to go through as a person who had full autonomy over my life. And that's what my affirmation is going to be about. It's going to be about boundaries. My boundaries are valid. My intuition is sacred. I do not have to shrink myself to keep anyone comfortable. I choose safety, peace, and self respect over unwanted attention. I am allowed to exist without being accessed. I do have closing remarks, and I want to thank you again, Savvy, for joining me today. Your series did not expose women, it exposed men. It showed patterns women experience every day: unwanted attention, boundary violation, constant negotiation of safety. To every woman listening, you are not imagining it. You are not overreacting. You are not responsible for managing men's feelings. Your space is yours. Your peace is yours. And your no does not require permission. Until next time, stay aware, stay safe, and stay rooted in power. At the end of each episode, I always give books that you're able to read to go along with the episode. I have The Gift of Fear by Gavin D. Becker, Men Who Hate Women by Laura Bates, Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men by Lundy Bancroft, Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nidra Glover Twaib, and No Visible Bruises by Rachel Louise. If you have nothing else for me, Savvy, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and I am Theredhead, signing off.